Another beautiful day on the homestead and doing one of my favorite things. We're timber framing today. So as you can see here, we've got the nice big block of wood there, and we've got a good start. We've got, what do we have here? Floor joists, 2 by 8 full dimension, 10 feet long. Got one 2 by 4 out of there too. So today what I need a total of 12, so we've got to cut a few more. So in the meantime, I'm melting some beeswax. Why would I be melting beeswax? Any ideas? What's that got to do with timber framing? Stay to the end and I'll show you. What a beautiful chunk of Doug fir, isn't it? Boy, I almost hate to cut it. It's just such a it's just so cool. One thing I really noticed about that ripping chain is what a nice, smooth finish it leaves. I can't say that it cuts a lot faster than just a standard chisel ground chainsaw chain, but what I can say is it cuts smoother and it leaves a much nicer finish. That's not scientific, but it just kind of seems to me, just from years of experience. So I've got, what we got? 5 there. We need 7 more. Is that right? 12? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Yeah, 12 more, or 7 more, and we'll cut those today. So when I'm cutting, I like to use, if you guys have seen me, I like to use these wire mesh goggles. The reason why is that they won't fog up on you, because when you're sweating, and they won't scratch, obviously, and they're really durable. They just last a long time, and you can kind of wear them around the neck. But these are used by wildland firefighters, hotshot crews, professional loggers, smoke jumpers. A lot of guys use these for those very reasons. So I think they're made by Bugs, but these are really great goggles. This should be part of your kit for chainsawing. And I do kind of like the earmuffs better than the squishy air plugs, because I can take them off when I'll cut and do something else. I hate to have to put those things in and out of my ears. It is kind of a hassle. So the earmuffs are just a little bit simpler. So with that PPE covered, personal protective equipment, let's get to work. So I've watched a lot of videos of guys using the chainsaw mill, and everyone says that you need to put wedges in the kerf as you're cutting, because as you can see, it starts to close down and it'll pinch the bar. I have not found that to be the case. It doesn't actually pinch the bar until you get to the end. And so what I simply do is, since I have a chainsaw tool in my hand, right before I cut out, I'm just about to come through on the cut, I'll take this here and just jab that in there, and what that'll do is that just holds that up there so I don't bind, the saw doesn't bind as it comes out, that slab doesn't sit on top of it. And what I've been doing here, and which is, the pick-a-root is just an indispensable tool for any type of woodsman, whatever you're doing, firewood or doing this type of thing. It's like having a third hand. So I'll just poke this in there and just give it a kick like that, and then that will hold up that end. So having 2 pick-a-roots would be nice, just to grab those and whack whack, punch them in there, and then you can use it to hold it up and to move the slab around. So with our 2-inch thick slab cut here, we've got to determine what we're going to be able to get out of here, what's going to be the best fit. And it'd be nice to be able to get 3 of those, of the 2x8s, but of course we're not going to get it. We're not even at 24 inches, and that's not even accounting for the thickness of the kerf, which is 1/8 of an inch. So what can we get out of here? We can get 2 2x8s, and we can get what? We'll have to see, but maybe another 2x6. So I'll always just keep an eye on that. Like you can see there, I've got that 2x4 that I cut over there. I'll need those things for framing in doorways and that sort of thing, or windows. There'll all be a use for them. So you just kind of have to look at the wood and see how it works out best. So when I'm looking at this, and I've got to make a decision here on either to go start cutting from this side or from this side, things I'm going to take into consideration are knots or blemishes. And so as I kind of look from here, I could see that this side here is a lot cleaner. It has less defects, less knots than over here, right? See, we've got some big old knots over here. You know, when you think about a knot in a piece of wood, even though it looks like the wood, it doesn't have any strength. So whenever you see a knot in a piece of wood, just consider that to be a hole in the wood, because it eventually will dry and fall out. It just doesn't add any strength to the wood. So you know, if we have more knots on that side, you know, we'll use that for the less desirable wood, you know, which ultimately might even end up to be the end piece, which will just be cut for firewood. So I've made the decision here. We'll start cutting our floor joists from the left side here. The first thing I'm going to do is snap a chalk line, and you can see here I'll just get as close as I can, but making sure that I am well in the wood. You can see I'm a little bit close right there, but still enough room there to cut. And then this will give me a guide to make my most important first straight cut. So a chalk line, for any of you guys that are, you know, building your toolkit or putting your carpentry toolkit, is one of the essential tools that you have to have. You know, I'm going to cover some of these tools that I use, and I always inevitably get the comments from you guys who have more experience. Oh, that's just common sense. Don't, you know, why are you wasting our times with this? I disagree. It may be common sense for you because you had you were fortunate enough to have someone teach you about these things and maybe grew up with them, but there's a lot of guys that don't have that. So it's not common sense, something if you've never been shown or never been taught. So that's why I kind of sometimes I go into this. But what a chalk line is it's just simply it's a small container that usually has a plug like this here that you'll fill up with a colored chalk. It comes in a powdered form. Like this here, you can just, it comes in a squeeze bottle. It'll come in yellow, orange, or blue. Blue is usually the best color, easiest to see. And the good chalk lines will have a braided cord here with a hook on it. And so it just leaves a line, a straight line for you. And I think the best chalk boxes are made by the U.S. tape company, the Duramark line. These are better built than the Stanleys, with a better braided cord on them. And one little tip there, as you're pulling the chalk line out, because the string is coming out of the, where are you there? Coming out of the end there, make sure you tip your chalk box down. That way all of that powder is down and the line is turning in that powder and it really coats it. Don't do it like this or sideways where sometimes you'll get the dry line out. So come out to the end and just make sure it's pointed in the down position. You can see it starting to come out there. And then come over a little bit further than you need, lock that in the handle, lay it down, and then snap it, usually 2 or 3 times. So one thing I'm going to do a little bit different with these floorboards is I'm going to use a skill saw to cut it, because they're only 2 inches thick, and the skill saw will easily do that. So I've got to get some stickers underneath of them. That's these 2x4s here. So when I run my skill saw along, I don't cut into the next board and mar it. So 2 is usually enough. I'll just kind of pick this up here and stick one under each side. Again, just to cover essential tools, here is the essential tool, a proper skill saw. This is a worm drive saw. It's the most powerful design of skill saws, and Skill Saw is the brand that I would recommend you stick with. They've been making these for a long, long time, and in my opinion, and those people who use them a lot, I think you could argue that these are certainly the best. This right here, with this one tool, you can do just about anything. You could build a house with this. This will replace a table saw. This will replace a chop saw. This will do everything you need it to do. Maybe not the best or the most efficient, but you could get it done. If I could only choose one thing and I needed to build something or build a home, I think this would probably be it. So as you can see right here, with a chalk line and a skill saw and a little bit of practice, you can cut very nice straight lines, as the eye doesn't lie. So how was your 4th of July? Did you guys have a good time? We had a great time. It was very busy. Seems like this is the first day off of the weekend, catching up on a little bit of rest. So, are you enjoying the timber framing videos? Or are they becoming monotonous? Have we seen all this before? I mean, I can take a week off and get all of this done and then bring you in later, or if you want, and if you leave in the comments that you enjoy this, would like me to continue to film, I'd be happy to do it. So, many of you guys enjoyed the riddle and would like to have more riddles. So I do have a riddle for you this week, and I will have riddles in the future. Here is this week's riddle, and I'll give you the answer in the next video. A man was pushed out of an airplane. The man did not have a parachute, but the man survived. How is that possible? If you have the answer, and if you think you're smart enough to answer my riddle, then put the answer in the comments. Did you click the thumbs up? I forgot to wear my thumbs up t-shirt. I would appreciate it if you would take a moment to do that. It's right down there in the bottom. And I will leave you with a parting video, one of my classic videos, a blast from the past. And I'll also put the link in the subject heading for you mobile users. So thank you for watching, thank you for supporting the channel, and I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next video.